Welcome to the Album of the Week podcast. I'm Vic, and today I have the privilege of interviewing a very talented young musician. Welcome to our podcast, Malia.
Hey, thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely. We have you on the show because you just released a new EP. How do you feel about the new release?
I feel really good about it. Whenever I put out music to share with the world, I always make sure it's something that I am personally proud of before I put it out. So regardless of numbers or who's listening or comments, I'm proud of my work. So I feel really good about it.
Absolutely, and I think that's something that you get with a lot of independent musicians.
Yeah.
It's really something interesting to see someone that's grinding and working hard to get their stuff out there, and it's something that can't really be taught. It's something that you can only hear with your ears. You can feel it with your soul. It's something
Right.
very unique, and you definitely have it, and that's something that attracted me to your music. And
Oh, thank you.
as far as the musical influences, where do you get that from? What really gets you going and pushing to make new music?
Um, Musical influences. Well, I didn't grow up in a musical family, actually. It's just me who is interested in music. So it didn't really start with family, but I can remember from the young age that I really loved to sing. I just was very shy. So it took me a long time to get to this point where I am able to kind of freely share my voice and my music with the world. But yeah, the singing inspiration kind of started from a very early age since I could talk, really. I've been singing and I picked up guitar about 4 years ago. And that instrument in itself is a huge inspiration for me. I played piano when I was younger, but it didn't really stick with me like guitar does. I can still play, but it's guitar is something that I do every single day and it doesn't ever feel like work. Um, so yeah, a lot of inspiration from just that instrument alone and learning it, and learning to accompany myself when I perform. And then I also have a lot of musical peers who are really kind of out doing their thing, who inspire me daily. So that's kind of where it is. I've got a lot of musical peers and friends, and yeah.
I was going to ask you about the LA music scene. I feel like, for the most part, the concentration goes to big musical acts and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I feel like LA has a really good, small musician uh, scene going, and it's really great to go out to these small little venues and catch people that maybe you've never seen before. So that's very interesting.
Yeah.
That um, do you play a lot of shows in the LA area?
Well, right now I'm in the Pacific Northwest. I'm in Portland right now. So right
Oh,
now
okay.
I'm stationed out of Portland, but I was in Los Angeles for like the past 5 years or so
Okay.
previously to coming here. And during that time, when I released my first EP and another single, yeah, I was playing around LA, and it seemed to be easier, honestly, to book shows out in the Los Angeles area, just
Okay.
as an independent artist, surprisingly, than it's been here in the Pacific Northwest. I haven't actively really been trying to book shows on my own, but in Seattle, the scene is kind of I don't know. It's not as open to people, and they really are looking for numbers and who you can draw out, and yeah, so it's kind of dominated by I feel like a small group, and also
Okay.
in Portland area, they're really huge on like folk music and a different genre than what I bring. So I don't know. I haven't really tried to play shows here, but yes, I was playing in LA, and that was cool to kind of get my feet wet and start that process.
I feel like your style, it does lead a little bit of folk into it,
Yeah,
where it does like feel like it's about something, and
right.
that's kind of the core of, I believe, folk music, and you
Yeah.
definitely have an R&B heavy influence. I mean, as far as I can
Yes.
tell,
Yes,
um,
most definitely.
and I think the interesting spin that you bring on it is live accompaniment, where
Yeah.
you play your own instrument, and that's another thing that got me interested because I think it's fantastic. where R&B is definitely a style that mostly uses your voice as an instrument,
Right.
uh, but you can back yourself up,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I definitely think that you have that style of you have that style really uniquely packed down, and uh,
Oh, dope. Thank you.
I think I really enjoy the stuff you do. Um, and I think you should definitely continue try to push that Pacific Northwest music scene. Let them see you. You'll turn some heads doing that.
Yeah, I had moved up here or in this area for a family obligation, so I was kind of
Okay.
tied down with that, and I wasn't really actively trying to book shows. I only sent out a few emails, but once I was kind of waiting to release this project really. So now that I've got this rolling, I'm gonna have to start playing live shows again very soon. So I'm gonna start doing my due diligence and reaching out and see what I can get booked in either Seattle or Portland and just start spreading the movement here.
We got the first little. Well, actually, I have one more question about uh, what kind of musicians really influence your style, or what do you really just like listening to?
Um, well, I'd say definitely my music, like you said, is very heavily influenced by, rhythm and blues and jazz. I grew up listening
Hmm.
to, jazz, and I really like that style, all types of jazz, really.
Sure.
But, major seven chords and that kind of thing, minor sevens, they really get my gears turning. As far as individuals, I used to listen to a lot of Amy Winehouse. I mean, I still do. And she, as a vocalist, and I know she played some guitar and maybe another instrument as well, too. But yeah, I listen to a lot of Amy, and I always have respect for musicians who sing and play as well. So I just gravitate to that. Also, in the blues sector, I don't know if you're familiar with the Tedeschi Trucks Band.
I
But
had not, no.
okay, there's a woman named Susan Tedeschi who is a guitar player and crazy awesome vocalist, and I've been kind of honing in and watching her and studying and seeing what she does. So yeah, just in the blues sector, and I mean, I also love like Justin Timberlake and Usher and
Definitely.
just kind of yeah.
Okay, well that's really interesting. One of the I don't know why in my head when I started listening to your EP, I got a
Mhm.
lot of like Erica Badu feeling,
Yes, yes.
and I think I read on your Facebook after I listened to your music, I kind of started
Did some
preparing for the
research.
yeah, did some research
Yeah.
to prepare, and I saw that that was one of your influences. I was like, yep, I hear it.
Yeah, yeah. I get a lot of comparisons to Corinne Bailey Ray, Nora Jones, India Ari,
Yeah.
and Erica Badu, and I think it's kind of a fusion of all of that. I definitely listened to all their music and grew up singing along, so now it's kind of just a fusion, I think.
Yeah, definitely. You can hear the influence, but it's definitely your own thing, and
Yeah.
I enjoy it. I enjoy it. So, you got to keep that good work up. Um,
Yeah, thank you so much.
okay, well, we have a little game here planned.
Yeah.
It's mostly about music, but then there's some curveballs in there. The game is called This or That. So I'm gonna give you two options, and you just give
Okay.
me the one you'd prefer
Okay.
quickly, and then it's going to be kind of a speed round, so we'll just keep
Okay.
moving.
Yeah.
Um, all right, well, let's start with Jimi Hendrix or Bob Marley.
Oh man, this is gonna get hard. I can tell already. Ooh, I think I'm gonna have to go with Jimmy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, well, Erica Badu or Lauryn Hill.
Oh man, you're giving me the like rock in a hard place here. Man,
Yep.
both of my favorites, but I would say Lauryn Hill. I grew up with Sister Act 2 on repeat just so I could hear her voice. So yeah, Lauren.
Funk or soul.
Ooh, I guess I'm gonna say soul, but man, funk is right there too.
Louis Armstrong or John Coltrane.
Louis.
Biggie or Tupac.
I'll go with Pac.
Nirvana or the Foo Fighters.
Oh my gosh. That's funny. My current neighbor, her son used to be a producer for the Foo Fighters for like 30 years or something, and is just now getting out of the game. So let's go with the Foo Fighters.
All right. Reggae or R&B?
Oh man, I mean R&B is my heart and soul, so I got to go with that. But reggae is definitely, I love it, love it,
Me too, me too.
love it.
Acoustic or electric?
Ah, Vic, you are. Oh my gosh. Man, acoustic is my roots. That's how I learned. But now that I have an electric guitar, it is so much fun. So I'm gonna say electric. Sorry,
Ah,
Taylor.
all right. Well, you're gonna get a little easier, I think.
Okay.
Hawaii or New York?
Ooh, Hawaii, all about the warmth in the tropics.
Yes. Uh, and the last one, pancake or waffles?
Ooh. You know what? Waffles, because I don't get to have them as often as I do pancakes, and I enjoy it.
Absolutely. Well, that was our game, this or
That
that.
was awesome.
I definitely was surprised by some of the answers, but I think it was a good surprise.
Oh yeah,
Um,
like what?
I mean, I would figure I know I put you in a hard place in some of them, but I like I said I heard Erica Badu more in your voice, but I love Lauryn Hill
Right.
as well. She is one of my favorite R&B artists,
Yeah. It's just
and
the history. I know more about Lauryn Hill, and I've
sure,
been listening to her longer than I have Erica. So, but I mean, props to Erica too. She's
yeah,
fabulous.
definitely. And then the Biggie and Tupac. I was just surprised because
Oh,
I'm a Biggie fan, so
I mean, it's honestly they're neck and neck. It's like I just chose one for the sake of the game.
yeah, I just tried to make it a little hard for you, and I think I
You
succeeded.
did.
I
You
think I
absolutely
succeeded.
did.
All right, well let's start talking about your new EP.
Yeah.
It's Letting Go, right?
Letting go. Yep.
There's 5 tracks, and I've listened to it a couple times now, and I really enjoyed it. And I gravitated to one song in particular,
Uh-huh.
but I'll let you know after I ask you this question.
Yes.
Do you have a song that you particularly lean to? Do you like more than the others? I know it's hard. It's like choosing
Oh,
between babies, uh,
yeah.
but do you have a song that you're like, man, that's mine. That's the one. That's
I wouldn't say I have the one. No, I as a whole I'm into the project. I tend to gravitate towards like slower songs. So Gray
mhm.
for me, even though it might not be one of the favorites because it's not as fast as some of the other ones,
Sure.
I really do like that song just because of the harmonies and just the feeling that it gives you.
I really enjoyed Gray. That one was my second favorite, actually.
Awesome.
But my favorite was It's Nothing.
Okay, yeah, it's nothing. That's one of my I love that one as well.
I really enjoyed it, and I think that's kind of like a song about something we've all kind of had a
Yep.
situation where, we don't
Yep.
necessarily know where we stand with this person, and we're
Exactly.
spending a lot of time with them, and
Uh-huh.
you kind of say, hey, whatever comes to this, I'm kind of good with.
Right. Right,
um,
right. It's like you don't ever want to step on anybody's toes or like make any assumptions, but then you
yeah,
have these feelings. So yeah, that song is definitely about
absolutely.
something relatable that I feel like everybody has gone through. So
Is this something you set out to write, or is this kind of like a compilation of songs that you've kind of come up with throughout the years, and or since your last EP, and or did you just set out to write these songs in particular?
It definitely wasn't a situation where it was like, okay, I'm gonna put out another EP here. Let me sit down and write some songs that, could go together. It wasn't that. It was really just kind of a compilation of some older songs, even Find Me, I wrote years ago,
Okay.
and just kind of revived it now and put it out. But yeah, it was really just kind of songs about personal experience and or other people's experiences that I just kind of yeah, put on paper and then into melodies, and now it's out for the world.
Well, speaking of the melodies and lyrics and stuff,
Yeah.
do you usually start with a melody or with a lyric or guitar line? Do you have a particular way you like to work in creating?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Usually when I'm writing, well, I'm constantly writing lyrics and just words all the time. I always carry a notebook with me, and I'm very old school in that respect that I mean, sometimes I'll jot down stuff, a note in my phone or whatever if I don't have pen and paper with me, but I normally carry around my notebook and I'm always writing down lyrics and just things that come to my head that I know will come into one of my writing sessions later. But I do like to start with a guitar melody or piano melody, something, or a track, and I like to hear the beat or what it is I'm working with first, and then I'll write the lyrics and melodies to it. I don't usually come up with like melodies in my head and then put it to the music. The melodies usually come when I hear the track or when I hear the chord progression that I'm working with.
Oh, interesting, interesting. Yeah, because
Yeah,
every musician has a different way of how they go about it, and it's just always interesting to hear how each
yeah.
individual musician does it. That's very interesting. Let's go back to being an independent artist.
Yeah.
Is it difficult to really get your music noticed and out there?
Well, I would say since I'm so new, I don't know. There's no rhyme or reason to it, I don't think. I think it could happen overnight where the one person could hear it and then all of a sudden, a million people hear it. Or, it could go the opposite way and it could take a long time and a lot of PR and just kind of pressing it and trying to get it out there and heard. I think I've been really blessed in that effect, and just, I don't know. I have become close with the internet and they have been so helpful with just getting my stuff out there because they'll when I release something, they kind of really or they will tweet about it or make an Instagram post or something, so I kind of have a little bit of their fan base. But yeah, I'm still kind of figuring that all out myself and just kind of forging my way. So
Yeah, absolutely. One of my newest, found interest in music has been listening to independent musicians, and I've made friends with a few. And the internet has been, one of the biggest tools or interesting ways to really push your stuff out there. And that's how I found that the musicians that are independent kind of push through and really use that as a way to really launch and get tours going and
yeah. Oh,
get their
that's funny.
music out there.
When I said the internet, sorry, I should have been specific. I meant the internet, the band. Like,
Oh,
yeah, but for sure the internet and social media has been pivotal, absolutely pivotal. My Instagram is the whole reason why I even have my connection with the internet and what they do and everything. So yeah, the internet and just as an entity and also the internet as a band and with the success they've gotten from Ego Death and everything over this past year, yeah, I think it all helps.
oh, interesting.
Connections, yeah, connections, social media, yeah, it all kind of works hand in hand.
Okay. Well, that was interesting and fun confusion. Uh,
Yes.
well, we're winding down here. Where can our audience find your album?
Right now, I just have it on my SoundCloud, which is Malia Vibes. If you go to SoundCloud or just soundcloud.com/Malia Vibes, that's where the music is right now solely. I just want to kind of put it on that avenue and send everybody to one place for a bit and see how it does. And then I think within a month or so, I'll probably start putting it on other avenues like my other music is on Spotify and
Okay.
perhaps iTunes and other places as well, just so I can spread it even more. Because a lot of people reach out to me and say, "Oh, I heard your music on whatever, Spotify," and I'm like, "Okay, great." So people actually are listening, and it's nice to have it, on other avenues besides just one. But I think for now, yeah, SoundCloud is where they can find it.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
And as far as getting getting a little more exposure to your Instagram. You were talking about your Instagram. It's also at Malia Vibes on Instagram, correct?
Yes, yes.
Well, that's actually how I initially heard about your music. One of my good
Okay.
friends, she also likes to sing, and she told me, "Hey, check this musician out. She's really good."
Oh,
And
awesome.
I was like, "Wow, that's great."
Yeah.
So I started listening, and then the morning I contacted you, actually, my friend said, "Hey, she's got an album or EP coming out," and I was like, interesting."
Hey,
And
perfect.
as our podcast is starting to get going off the ground, I was like, hey, it would be great to get a independent artist musician on the podcast and interview them. And I'm really happy that we did get a hold of you, and
Yeah,
you've been very fun and lovely to talk to. And
awesome.
it seems like we're just about to the end here. Thank you very much for joining us. I wish you all the best of luck, and
Thank
I hope
you.
that whatever promotion you do for it is very successful. I hope the album is very successful in whatever
Thank you
you
so
consider
much.
success. And once again, thank you for joining
Yes.
us.
Thank you
And
so
to
much for having me, Vic. I really, really appreciate you
absolutely,
reaching out and, any way that I can push this project and my movement is wonderful. So I appreciate you very much and I hope you enjoy the rest of this day.
I will. I will. Thank you very much, and to all our listeners, thank you for listening. Be well to each other, and have a nice day.